Peace and love, y'all. It's your brother A.D.V.I.S.S, and we are here with another more interviews, aka memoirs of our real experiences. And for today's interview, we have the artist that goes by James Drainer out of OC, aka Orange County. And as he makes his way here for the interview for today, thank you to y'all for being here. Thank y'all for supporting the interviews and coming through and giving up your time, as well as if there's any questions or any comments that you want to share during the interview, please drop them down in the comments. It is well appreciated, as well as if you're very interested in this artist that's here, please do show your interest as well. Let me see. Let's try to drop this there real quick. We'll put that up as well as we're letting folks come through and do their thing. Shouts out to the brother. I see you, Freddie, the wizard, in the building. Y'all, what's going on, G? Much love to you. Much love. Now, let me go ahead and make sure I send it to the brother. As right now. Never mind. We're coming through right now. Perfect. We have James Drainer in the building, y'all. But again, I'm your brother A.D.V.I.S.S. This is More Interviews, which stands for Memoirs of Our Real Experiences. And for today's interview, we have an OC native and MC on the mic. I say very, very vicious on the mic. Goes by the name of James Drainer. So let him up in here right now.
What's up,
Yo,
bro?
yo, yo. What's going
How
on,
you
man? How
doing?
you doing?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
Living and learning, man. Keeping it moving.
Yes, sir. I feel you.
So shoot, man. Again, I appreciate you taking your time to come out and for this interview, as well as reaching out, man. It's well appreciated.
Yeah, thank you, bro. This is like a crazy opportunity for me because like I love interviews. It's all I really watch. So like, it's crazy that you like someone that's like an artist, just like me is doing interviews for people. So I appreciate it, man. Let's get it.
Man. Again, shouts out to O.3 Snake and shouts out to Zachariah Made It. Without these brothers, I wouldn't even thought of, or at least even pushed myself to start doing things of this sort. So if you want to also give someone other people thanks, man, shouts out to those two brothers in particular.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yes.
Also,
But
planes pass by every now and then. I live like right next to an airport, so we're keeping it real out here.
okay. Oh yeah, no, you good. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for the heads up. Is there is
Yeah.
there any questions or any concerns you have before we start the interview?
Nah, bro. I'm ready. Let's just get to it whenever you
Okay.
want.
All right, perfect. All right, y'all. If y'all don't know, this is James Drainer. Am I saying that correctly, brother?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, this is James Drainer out of OC. And I'm gonna tell y'all now, y'all will not be disappointed. You listen to this brother. You can hear it in his voice. I especially love his voice and his flow when it comes to the music that he creates. So if y'all want to go check him out, I don't know if you have anything on Spotify or anything else, but you do have a YouTube channel which has a
Yeah,
lot of your stuff on there.
for sure. Yeah.
Um, So please go check it out. I'll have a lot of this stuff linked later on after, and then towards the end of the show, I'm gonna ask him to as well plug everything so that we can go and find this person, find him. I'm telling you, you will not be mad at all. I'm telling you that off the rip. Right. Um. Well, the first thing, brother, man, is let us know, man, how you doing? What's been going on for you?
Man, I've been good, bro. I just really been making like music like crazy. I've been kind of struggling with money. Like I had like a few jobs I went through. I got let go, and
Mm,
I just like been trying to figure it out. Like just life, just I'm like 21 years old, so just trying to figure out how I could grow and be better at working because that's like really important to like making money. especially as like an independent artist. You know, that's like
Yeah.
you rely so heavily on like just a little bit of money just to get you through for everything you do. You know, so that's really what's been going on. I've been struggling there, but I got stuff coming up soon. Other than that, bro, it's just music, and I got a girlfriend, so my relationship, trying to keep that intact,
Mm,
trying to like just hang out with my parents
all
more, everything, man. Family, music. That's really what it is.
a day-to-day balancing act.
Yeah, bro. Work-life balance.
Man, but I definitely hear you on that. I'm sending you much, love and much success to, you know, getting up out the situation. I know a lot of folks are, dealing with very similar situations, but to
Yeah,
you and to everyone else out there, y'all will find a way. Y'all are strong enough, and don't be afraid to feel what you feel at the moment when you feel it, because then ultimately it's letting you know what needs to be done in return. So y'all got it.
yeah, exactly. Thank you, bro.
Mm. Hey, all day, man. We got it. That's another thing is community. That's the important part. We talk about community so much, and if you're not able to help lend a hand to the next person, that doesn't mean you have to give them like $400, $500 money, monetary. I mean, to me, the most valuable thing you can give anybody, and I appreciate you for coming on again, brother, is time. Because that's one thing
Yeah,
you can never get back. And that is such an invaluable resource. So if you give somebody their time to support, whether if it's come to a show or just to even hear them speak or, just really plan stuff with them, that's more than just be like, you see them like, oh, okay, all right, peace. Like support,
yeah,
important.
for sure.
Um, but with that, brother, let's go ahead and let's get to these questions. I got you.
All
Um,
right, let's do it.
First one, for those who do not know, can you please tell us about yourself and give us a little brief of your background?
All right, for sure. Yeah. So, for those who don't know, my name is James Drainer. I'm an artist from Orange County, California. That's right in the middle of Southern California. So, I grew up very like diverse community. All different people. So, right away just introduced to all different types of music. So that's really what drew me to music.
Mm,
That's my main passion in life is musician. That's all I really look at. That's all I study is, hip hop, and that's like my main bread and butter right there. So yeah, man, that's like my background is just Orange County,
mm,
and yeah, bro, like really what got me into music and me becoming the artist I am today is just the internet. Like I'm just another kid from the internet who found like certain rappers that really connected to me, and then I was like, all right, man,
yes.
I know I can do it too because I always felt like I wanted to be a singer or some sort of like entertainer. Like I used to post little joke
Yeah.
videos on YouTube, like when I was 10, like of me rapping to Drake and stuff, and it was like super corny and everyone would laugh at me, but that was like me just experimenting and trying to figure out like how the YouTube game works. And once I really got it going and I really like kind of found myself in it, I started to think of
Yeah.
what I wanted to be, what I wanted to call myself, and I just looked up to the artists that inspired me most, and I try to follow in their footsteps, to this day. So that's the background, man.
Mm. Awesome. And you already started alluding to it and kind of giving the stuff there, which I mean, shouts out to you and your in the
Yeah,
background. Thank you for sharing that. My second question, I mean, it's a two-parted question, but we'll start with the first part because you already started again telling us a bit. Is when did you begin creating music?
damn man. I was so I'm 21 now, so it's been about 6 years since I've been really going.
Mm,
So I was like 15 when I really picked up the mic and I started writing my first songs and recording. I used to
mm,
have like a high ass voice, so I would just like I would record my raps and stuff, and I would think they're good. And listening back now, I'm just like, that's so terrible. Like it was corny, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was like just copying Logic and Eminem and J Cole and stuff, and you know, but
mm,
that's how it starts. So 15 years old when I really like was just so by everything I was watching, and that's what that's the beginning footsteps. 15, man.
mm. Awesome. I mean, and on top of that, he said, I feel old now. I rent you in the building. It's all good. It's all good, family, man. Shoot. This is life, bro. Man, the
Yeah, bro. That's
generations
life.
passes on. And but on top of that too, because you already start talking about it, can you give me a defining moment? Can you give me a defining moment where it really you really got inspired to just start creating music?
Yeah. Wait, I didn't hear the first part. Can you just repeat that first part of the question? My internet lagged or
Yeah.
something.
Can you give me a defining can you give me a defining moment that made you really pushed you to start creating music?
Start. Sorry, man. There's a freaking plane. Uh, yeah, man. Like,
Hey y'all, we got planes in the
yeah,
background.
yeah, bro. I would say the defining moment is like, I always loved music, and I always was attracted to it, just like
Yeah.
everybody else. So, I'm actually wearing his hat. This is his merch right here, Bobby Boy. Yeah, I was 15. I used to just play Call
Mm,
of Duty and like watch YouTube, and like that was my life. Is like, just Call of Duty and YouTube. I loved it, and I was always passionate about that. And that community, I found this rapper Logic because people would always use his music in their videos and stuff. And then through that, I just started studying music. And the funny
yeah.
thing is, like, when I found him, like underground New York, like boom bap pop, and I wasn't even into that stuff. Like I was more into like Drake and like the mainstream radio,
Mm,
and listening to him, like his mixtapes and his underground stuff really like changed the way that I listened to music, and it changed like my ear for music because he was so like, underground boom bap type of stuff, and that really made me appreciate like
yes.
lyricism and stuff. And then once I studied him, I was like, it inspired me to want to be a rapper myself. So I just kind of copied him, and I would make songs just like him, and like my art and stuff I would make would be just the same stuff he does. And that was like what allowed me to kind of cultivate
Mm,
who I am now. So that was the moment when I was 15 and just playing Call of Duty, and discovered him. He really sparked the whole like interest in calling myself a rapper and actually learning how to be a rapper. So yeah,
mm. Awesome, man. And you already tapped into the next question because when I hear you rapping, when I hear you get on a mic and MC, like yeah, that was one person that definitely caught my ear that you did sound very similar to, which
yeah,
was the Brother Logic. Is there any other main influences that you had that also pushed you besides? I know he's talked about Logic. I heard you say something about Eminem. Anybody else?
yeah. Oh, for sure, bro. Like, Logic was the first one, like the first rapper I listened to. But as the years went on, past 15, I was like getting into J. Cole and Kendrick, and they were coming out with like when they were in their prime, like 2014, 2015, like they were just dropping like
Mm,
stuff. So me and my homies would all just follow hip hop, and that's when I really started following it and becoming a hip hop head, like, and really becoming that person. So J. Cole, that's my top five right there. Like he's probably like my second favorite rapper, if not my first, depending on
mm.
But J. Cole, Kendrick, you know what I mean? Like just what they've done with their music, crazy, like super inspiring. I think they're like the goats of this generation, and obviously Drake is a
Mm,
big influence on my sound, like the melody,
mm,
the instrumentals I choose and stuff. Like it's like a subconscious thing, because of growing up with Drake and stuff like that. And then of course Eminem, me being like a white kid from the ghetto
yeah,
neighborhoods and stuff, like watching 8 Mile, like I kind of identify with like his struggle, his story, and I'm just like
yeah.
that. That's such a big influence on me. Like, and plus, besides race, like he's like the goat at rapping. Like he's just ridiculously talented. So every time he comes out with something, it's like the whole world has to listen to it. So he's been a big influence for years. And Kanye, Mac Miller, like those guys are just,
Mm,
very creative and different. And they don't just rap; they do like so many different styles of music, and they blend genres. And that's one thing I try to do. And I like how you said earlier, like I reminded you of Logic. I'm trying to kind of step away from that
Yeah.
as I'm growing as an artist,
Away
because
from that.
I used to
Mm-hmm.
get that all the time, like yo, this guy sounds like Logic, and I would like spit a flow, and they'd be like, oh, this guy's like Logic little brother, and that was my whole thing. But you know, as you become more of an artist, you're like, you don't want to be known as like some other artist. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I think Tupac said this like in a I heard that Tupac said this in an interview or something like that. Like he took all his inspirations and he blended it in a pot, and that's what created Tupac. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to do that with like Mac Miller, Kanye, Drake, Kendrick, Cole, Logic, Eminem, and the list goes on to all different genres of music, like from
Yes.
classic rock to whatever. I'm a music head at heart, so I just love, like, if it's a good song and if it's like I could feel it in my heart,
Yes.
I'll listen to it and I'll become a crazy fan. So yeah,
And that's really, I'm glad that you fleshed that out for me too. And I wouldn't necessarily, would just say like, oh, you're exactly just like Logic. But
yeah,
again, what happens, and I mean, is the thing is, it's a good thing that is, people are aware of, what, you're similar sounding like. So that means you're on the right track of like at least trying to, again, blend your influences. It's just learning where, that threshold is going to be for you when it comes
yeah,
to your art. Because ultimately, I mean, yeah, ultimately it's like I still see so much, there's so much potential still for you to continue growing, brother,
thank you.
and figuring a lot of stuff out. It's just, again, studying like you're doing, picking which pieces like really work for you production wise, this, maybe a particular melody on that.
Yeah,
And really once you blend and you find what's comfortable to you, then they're gonna know specifically, okay, yeah, no, that's James, that's his sound right there. But yeah, we can tell your influences, but that doesn't
yeah,
mean that, oh, this is all that you are. But that's what's up. I like
exactly,
that. I
man.
like that. Mm. Well,
Yeah.
speaking of, when you was
hmm
talking about back creating some of your first few songs, what was the first song you ever created?
Damn. Honestly, I couldn't tell you the first song I ever created, because when I started, I kind of just was like writing a whole bunch of stuff at once, and I
Yeah.
was just trying to create like a whole album like right when I started.
Yeah.
So I don't remember, but I know I have like 5 songs from that year,
Okay.
2015, that like on my Google Drive, and like there's all different types, but I could just
Mm.
give you like the vibe of what I was creating. It was very like deep. I was trying to go for this like deep like struggle story, hip hop, like
Mm.
Jay-Z, like Eminem, like, come from the hood, and like these are the struggles I went through, and put it on this like dark
Yeah.
instrumental. That's kind of what I was going for, and yeah, that was
Mm.
like main stuff I would talk about. Is like similar to like Cole, Eminem, like Logic, like on their come up. So yeah,
Uh-oh.
man, this Wi-Fi.
Let's not lose you here. But shouts out to everyone in the chat right now. If y'all have any questions for James, please throw it in the comments, and we'll definitely add it along the interview again. This format is for it to also be very interactive. So if y'all have anything that y'all are interested in knowing, please throw them in the comments. And no, I'm gonna tell you now, please don't put no funny business up in the comments, okay? Trying to get at him or anything else in that particular way. Respectful, please. If you got something you're really interested in, please add them into the comments as well. Um, now I see that you're back. um,
Yeah,
thank you
sorry,
for
bro. I
thank
didn't
you
even
for
think my
sharing that.
Wi-Fi was
Bro. Look,
bad. Yeah,
you
thank
do
you,
what you gotta end up doing, man. The struggle, the struggle. Um,
bro.
well, speaking of that, I said, wait, what did I miss? I don't know what you missed. I'm not on your side, I rent.
You need my help, bro.
You need my help, bro.
I might need your help with some new Wi-Fi over here at my house, bro. If you could pitch in.
Ah, man. Nah, you good. You good. Nobody's acting up right now, I rent. I appreciate you, brother. Nobody's acting up right now. If they were, I got you. I got you. Appreciate it. Yeah, yeah, I rent. No, I rent is another. Please follow I rent. podcast studios, y'all. Especially this brother is very supportive, and at the same time has content that y'all should be also checking out if you're interested. Again, just learning different things. So shouts out to Iran.
Bounce out.
Yes. All right. Next thing I got for you, G. While the airplane is passing by.
All the yeah, dude.
Um, because the first time, I mean, I got to see you perform was at, of course, the Coolab project. But I want you to tell us
Okay.
about where was your first performance?
Yeah. My first ever performance, like, I did these like two little like not really open mics. They were more like karaoke open mic type of thing where it was actually
Mm,
at the mall by my house, and there was these two dudes like in suits, and they had this like portable speaker, and they were just posted
mm,
like random door, and they were like, they had all these cards they were giving out to like these like coupons if you come and sing a song on their like you put the song on the iPad, you sing, then they'll give you like a coupon. So I was like, I'm gonna do it, and I just went up there. I did like two Logic songs, and then they gave us like a coupon to get like some coffee or something. I don't even know what it was, but
mm,
that was the first time I was like, actually in front of people,
mm,
like rapping and stuff, and like felt like I was performing. But I would say my first real performance was the Cool App Project in like 2019, and that was definitely like the first ever performance I did because it was like my own set,
mm,
like 30 minutes or whatever, and that was like super nerve wracking, and I felt like throwing up in the beginning, and but I got through it, and like yeah, man, that was a crazy day.
mm. Dang.
Yeah,
I'm gonna add a question to that, but we got one from Iran and it says, "Can we get a live performance here by the end of the interview?" Um,
I'm down, bro. If you're down, I'm down.
Okay, there it is, Iran. You got your request. We got your request, brother. And honestly, if I think now you're about to start something new because I never have asked anybody. You are going to be the first on these interviews to actually do a performance. If you're down, we can say
I'm
that for
down.
the end. All right,
Just
you got your wrist, Iran. You got it. Thank
gotta go
you
grab my
again,
laptop.
brother. um, definitely. When the time comes for, we'll definitely do that, and we'll transition. You'll
Yeah,
be good,
for
and I'll let you go
sure.
and get prepped and ready. Yeah. On top of that, of you performing first at the Cool App Project, for those who don't know, Cool App Project is a open mic. Is more like a community experience. It's called it's through Cool Collaborations, but basically it's another open mic spot where folks will come in and share their art and also connect with people from the community. And as of right now, there is at least two different places that the Cool Lab Project is located, or at least is right now, within Santa Ana, California, and then also out in Macon, Georgia.
Yeah,
There's more information for that if y'all want to know. I can also drop that later on, but just for y'all know, we talking about the Cool App Project. It's one of the open mics there. For you, when performing at the Cool App Project, when you got up there, what did it feel like? Like, take us in like your mind, like in that
man.
process, the before and the after of like how that felt.
You know what's funny is the before was actually better than the after for me the first time, and I think because
Mm,
I was at the point in my life where I was mentally, also just like being super nervous. Uh,
mm,
but the first time, actually, my homie Trip Flow, he's a rapper too. He's really talented. He makes like super underground stuff.
mm,
Uh, he brought me to the Kulap project, and we're just sitting there. And then I had no idea what was gonna happen. Like I didn't know anybody there. I didn't know Rocky, Alaz. I didn't know anybody. So once they were like, all right, we're gonna do this freestyle before the show starts, I was, my homie's like, you should get up there, and I was like so nervous and shy, because that's how I am sometimes in public. And I was like, all right, man, I got to do
yeah.
it. But like, it was like Eminem and 8 Mile in the bathroom scene, like about to throw up and stuff. So I just got up in the line, and like I was like, I was nervous, palms were sweaty, you know what I mean? And I just did it, like he passed me the mic, and I think I did like half of like a written verse, and then I went into like a freestyle off the top, and I just felt like throwing up being in front of people and kind of like pushing past like the judgment and whatever I was thinking and like, you know, what I
Mm.
was feeling. It's like you kind of got to fight all that because you got to be the leader on stage and you got to perform and like make sure people are like liking what you're doing and that, you know.
Yes.
So that's where like my mindset was at the time. I was just really nervous and like almost like couldn't fight the feeling of it. But you
Mm.
know, I always believe in my skills as a rapper, so I just got up there, did it, and then I, you know, the next time I went, I did like my first ever set there, and that, you know, that was a whole different ball game. But I think after my set, the different day,
Oh yeah.
I felt nervous the same way, but after my mom was like, you know, if I was you, I'd be on top of the world right now. I'd be like so excited, but I didn't feel good for some reason. I just didn't feel like excited. I
Mm.
didn't feel like proud of myself, and everybody was like, all my friends were around me and my mom, and they were all like hyping me up and all super excited. But for some reason, the performer myself, like I just wasn't feeling the same energy, and I don't.
Mm.
But I think it's just where I was at the time mentally, like kind of unsure of myself internally. You know what I mean? As an
Yeah.
artist, like not really knowing who I am and what I want to do. But that was also like 2 years ago, so I've grown a lot since that time. So
Yes. That's what that inner critic can do for you, man. That's one of the biggest hurdles as a emerging in a and like a new artist. It's like really learning how to stop that inner critic and just,
yeah,
you know, be able to honestly learn how to balance and, you know, deal with it. Because for some folks it makes them crumble under pressure. For others it's just a back and forth conversation, like, okay, you may not like this, but you know, I dig it, and I know people are going to dig it when I perform this. Watch.
yeah,
And then you do it, and then, you know, the lower and lower your inner critic starts to really try to take over everything that you're doing in your process. You're like, I can appreciate your perspective, but nah, I'm gonna go with this. So
yeah,
I'm with you on that, man. It takes some time to get over that.
for sure, bro.
It's a doozy for sure.
Yeah, man.
But shouts out to you though, man. Not a lot of folks again take the courage to be able to get up there and really perform, not only from what's inside of them and their art, but
Yeah,
to, you know, do it in the fashion that you did it. At least from when I saw you perform, I think stuff from your last recent project a while back, and like you did like two or three of the songs, and man, brother, you went in,
thank you, bro.
bruh.
Appreciate it.
I was just like, yo, I was like, dude, does he know how many bars he spit right now? This dude went past like 48, 64. This dude is like spitting
100,
230s or something, like, bro. Like, you was a spitting. I was just like, man, I had to go back and listen to this stuff. But again, man, shouts out
yeah,
to you. That goes to into the work that you've done, you know, in the craft, as well as not only the studying, but the love that you got for it. So
yeah, for sure.
appreciate that.
Thank you, man.
Now on
Yes, sir.
to the main topic for today, for those who don't know. So the brother here, James Drainer, also has content that he does on YouTube, and he's been doing some remixes as well as original songs, almost like if it's weekly or almost bi-weekly, whatever. It's music of just
Yeah.
singles. And more recently, I mean, today is correct, right?
Yeah.
Is it
Today
as of today that you dropped it?
I'm dropping
Okay.
it.
So,
I'm probably gonna get it all together to drop it.
all
Yes,
right,
sir.
perfect. So for today, for a reason why we also are having this interview, is to talk about his new track that is dropping today, called Momentum Remix.
Mhm.
And from that, for y'all get to hear it, you know, later on. I got to hear it prior to this. I got the little exclusive. But for you, brother, I want to ask, and so you can get people to kind of know. You don't have to give too many spoilers. You can give them maybe some background,
Yeah.
but tell us a bit about the song.
I mean, this song is it's just bars, really. It's not. There's no concept to it. It's not like my original song. It's an original verse I did, but really it's just I heard the beat. I heard the
Mm-hmm.
song. It's actually a Russ song. And Russ is like a super dope artist, you know,
Mm.
MC. He did this whole project called
Yes.
Chomp, and it was all like super boom bap, lyrical beats, and crazy stuff like that. So I heard the one
Yeah.
song he did, Momentum. I knew that I wanted to do another remix, so I just wrote that verse. I found the beat on YouTube. I downloaded it, recorded it all in the
Mm.
same session. And, that's really what this is. It's just a lyrical exercise. On a really dope beat. So
Mm. Man, besides just hearing it from Russ and doing that, what ultimately
yeah,
really made you want to create the song in general? Is it just only because you like the beat, or was there any other reasons?
I think it's always like because this song right here is like a really driven, like hungry lyrical verse is really what I define it as. And
Mm-hmm.
I think when I do stuff like this, because I could do all types of music and I try to keep it diverse and do like lyrical stuff, love songs, like groovy, like fun turn up songs, trap,
Yeah.
jazzy stuff, anything, like whatever I feel the vibe. But for these types of tracks where I'm just trying to show off like my pen game and spit some bars and like do that true real hip hop stuff, it's really comes from a place of just trying to prove yourself, like trying to compete because hip hop is a competitive sport, by nature. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where it comes from is like that Eminem, J. Cole, you know, type of type of mentality where you're just trying to be the best MC out there. So that's really what
Yes.
it is, just super lyrical
Uh,
bars.
And speaking of the bars,
Yeah.
I got some like my favorite bars that I had to write down in reference to what you just talked about right now. So I'm gonna say a few that at least I got from the song that I want to share that are my favorite, and
Okay.
then you tell me if you remember any parts from there that are the favorite ones for you. So
All
in reference to you talking about hip hop being a sport, we got the
right.
bar
Yeah.
coming in talking about they all running back and forth just to get more replays. This hip hop is a sport. It's a sport. Play the game. EA. Like yo yo yo. Okay, I see what you was going with that back and forth with the replays and the hip hop. EA, bro. That bro, I was feeling that. And then
Thanks, man.
the
Yeah.
follow up after too. There's some other ones in there too. It says, "To the day I'm under in the grave, one day we'll all fade away. So what you really trying to say and leave behind? With every word I rehearse and I leave the earth." Like it continues, but of course I'm
That.
not doing it justice, y'all. When y'all hear it, y'all will hear it for exactly what it is. But those few lines stood out to me not only because of the competitive nature, like you said, of hip hop, but at the same time, to me, that last part of till to the day I'm under in the grave, one day will all fade away. So what you're really trying to say is like for me is like in this music and what you're creating within hip hop or just within the genre of music, what type of substance are you bringing? Like what's the message you're really trying to get across to people? Is it going to be something that's going to be lifelong, forever classic, legacy, or is
Yeah.
it just something only for the short term, do just for just the time? That's it. It's not going
Yeah.
to be long lasting. So, I mean,
Exactly.
from those parts, bro, it made me think on, those two type of ideas, and shouts out to you for that, man.
Dude, you, bro. Thank you for
Uh-huh.
acknowledging it, man. That's awesome. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, that's why I'm saying when it comes to specifics on things, I like to do that because I like to hear what I'm again being able to promote and share with people because I'll be truthful with you. If there's some stuff that I'm not digging, I'm not going to necessarily want to end up throwing out to folks. But I mean, I
Yeah.
already was down with how you was rhyming from the beginning, so I knew what you were going to share with me wouldn't be like some ABC 1 2 3, all that other stuff. So we're good, my brother.
Yeah.
Shouts out to the brother Vlad in the building, man. Good to see you, G man. What's the word? Not even what's the word. This is more interviews. But you tell me, what are some of your favorite bars?
From that song?
Yeah.
Damn. Honestly, literally the one you said thing, just because of that rhyme scheme that like I was putting together, and then I think it was really clever with the whole like EA sports thing. That's probably like the best bar from that whole song. But there's a
Mm-mm.
few, there's like probably three moments that are like where it's like a punchline and a setup and it's really clever. And another one of my favorites is when I say there's a rapper named Action Bronson, and I basically
Yes.
like I did
Mm-hmm.
some work and I broke down his name and I said like I forgot the exact line, but I said basically something like Bronson and like put that in action. I can't really remember it, but oh yeah, my girlfriend's right here by the way. She's helping me out.
Shouts out to Juju.
No bronze shit. Oh yeah, okay. So the rhyme scheme's crazy. I said no bronze shit, like bronze, like a metal. No
Mm-hmm.
bronze shit, but like Bronson, I'm putting that in action or something like that. Something like that. Like Bronson, I'm putting that
Yeah.
in. It was just a dope like the way that I incorporated it in the section of the song like was a dope moment. So yeah,
Like,
that's probably my favorite one too.
yeah. I caught that one as well. And honestly, there was 3 or 4 notable points throughout the
Yeah.
verse. The first one, of course, with the EA, and then for me talking about the substance, and then the Malcolm X bar in there, and
Oh
then the
yeah.
Action Bronson that was in there too.
Yeah,
So,
that one, honestly, I was kind of stuck on that one at first because this whole verse to me was like putting a whole puzzle together. Like I was just trying to be as clever as possible. So you could see that in
yeah.
those moments where I'm just like, the flows are just keep on climbing over each other. And then I said like Malcolm X and O. So it's like
Yep.
supposed to be kind of like a double meaning where it's like X and O.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like X and O, by the way, let me move on to the next thing I'm talking about. So yeah, that one was pretty cool.
Again, brother, kudos, man. Kudos, man.
Thank you, bro.
With that, man, we're gonna move to. Actually, I got some fun questions for you, brother. We're gonna
Oh hell
switch
yeah.
from the deep in depth questions to some fun questions real quick.
Let's do it.
So, as I usually do, y'all, I got a would you rather question. So, not only is this pertaining to James, if y'all want to answer this would you rather question as well, please put them down in the comments, okay? Oh man. But next one, this one. So, would you rather?
Okay.
Listen close, y'all. Listen close. Would you rather be able to take back anything you say but lose sleep, or hear any conversation that is about you, either good or bad?
Damn. That's good, bro. That first one was interesting, but I'm definitely gonna say I'd rather like listen to every conversation, good or bad, because I feel like I do that anyway sometimes. I'm just like trying to be nosy and like see if people are
Mm.
using me behind the scenes, you know. So I would say the second one, yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah,
can
I
dig that.
got sleep, bro.
Hey, bro, I definitely feel you on that. It really depends on how much sleep is being lost, because
Yeah,
you want to say some stuff that you don't want to, take back. But I will definitely have to agree with you on the second one, because most of the time, I'll be truthful, I don't necessarily say things that I want to take back. Like, I'm very coordinated, and like when I speak with intention on the
mm,
first half. It's not like I just say stuff to throw stuff out there. If I don't have nothing nice to say, then what? I don't say nothing at all.
yeah, I feel you.
But
I,
okay,
I
I'm with
I be
that.
saying stuff sometimes where I'm like, damn, I said that. I got to deal with that now, you know. Now I'm feeling
Mm, yeah.
everyone's so
Oh yeah, no, definitely for sure. No one's perfect on that. There's
yeah,
just times where I've learned from that, and now more conscientious of that. And I mean, if it's a misstep, then I mean it's a misstep towards me learning. But yeah, it says great skill set to have. You look, you gotta be able to take in time of what's being said to you, and just don't randomly blurt things out. There's a difference between reacting and a difference between responding. Because
mm-hmm.
how I break down reacting and responding is, when you react to something, it's all out of emotion, just in that moment. How you feeling? There is no logic, there is no thought put into a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Versus responsibility. And since us is MCs, I like to break down responsibility, which is the ability to respond. So you have the ability to sit
Woo!
back, listen to what is being done and what's being said, both emotions and logic, and then respond accordingly to the situation.
That's deep, bro. I'm gonna have to steal that for a bar next time.
Those are the two words together. Responsibility is basically ability and respond. So once you
Yeah,
put them together, you're able to, bruh. That's how I
and
look at
that's
words like that.
that's true too. Like it makes sense together because you know that's really what you're doing too. Is when you're being responsible for what you say. You know.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
exactly. And okay, nice, nice. I like that. Um, and I'll give you. Let's see. Let me put it on the timer. You were like, well, all right, what is he talking about? All right, in 10 seconds.
Oh, damn. Okay.
In 10 seconds, tell us three of your favorite songs
Woo!
and go.
Bohemian Rhapsody, A Tale of Two Cities, and All Right by Kendrick.
Brother, he had like 2 seconds left. I know it looks like a
Did I
five, but
get
he
it?
had 2 seconds left. Awesome job, man. Yes, you did,
Oh,
man.
damn.
That's what's up, bro. He had 2 seconds left, man. Bro, look, you said three of the songs already within that time, man. Yeah, everybody give him a
I
clap for
think
that.
time flies on Instagram Live, honestly.
Man, I was just being look. That was something I like doing fun with, man. I started noticing it's like you try to time and give people timing for stuff, they'll just be like, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
One of the last interviews I ended up doing, I had a homie tell me within like 7 seconds 4 different states.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, just because again, it's also the
That's not,
also huh?
that's not too hard. I feel like that's definitely possible.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely was. I just do a lot of this too to help keep the your mind sharp on some stuff too. Cause you're gonna get some questions
Yeah.
sometimes that like throw you off. So got to be ready.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like those deep questions, bro. I didn't know what to say, you know? I had to reach deep within and pull it out.
Hey man. But that again, you just come ready, man, and you just be honest with it. I think that's what
Yeah.
really folks can really vibe with at the end of the day is the authenticity and the honesty that you
Sure, man.
bring across, as a person. That's how people gonna vibe. As much as we can love the artist too, there's that
Yeah.
second layer of knowing a bit of the person, in the person though, and that really makes people relate to you even more.
Yeah, I feel that. I like, I study interviews like ever since I started making music. So
Yeah,
there's always interviews where like, you know what they're gonna ask you, and you just come prepared with your whole life story, and you know what you want to say, and you have these bullet points. But for me, I didn't want to do that. I didn't even
yeah,
prepare myself like that. I think there's good to that and there's bad to that. Like I think the good is like you create such an organic energy and you're just being like your natural self. And like when you're in an interview, it feels like they're kind of putting you to the test. They're like testing your character. They're testing how you're gonna respond to certain questions. And if you're just like organic and present, you're not really thinking about like what you wanted to say. It's a lot more real and more honest. So yeah,
yeah. Boom. Yeah. No, I definitely agree. I got to a point at the same token of if I were to go for job interviews and things of that sort, I may just like do some research on what the job I'm looking for, like what they're about, just so I can have some questions to ask myself. But like
yeah,
preparing for questions being said, I just go in there, with what I know. And if I
yeah,
don't know anything, I'm not afraid to say so. But
yeah. So that.
I feel that, brother. I definitely feel that. Last one for the fun questions, and we'll get back to the last two, and we'll round out with this being one of the first more interviews, live performance, and we'll
Yes,
definitely
sir.
give the brother some time to go set some things up.
All right.
Um, the last one I got for you on the fun questions is sh- share with us one lesson you learned as an artist you would like to pass on to future artists.
Damn, bro. Back with the deep questions. All right.
I
That's a
gotta
good one.
go. I gotta go. I gotta go. A little funny. Then I gotta go with. I'm gonna throw you off with some quick timing, and the last one to get you ready to come back to the deepness.
All right, all right. That's honestly that's a hard one because I feel like I'm still learning like what I need to learn to even become
Mm-hmm.
part of my potential. To become the artist I want to be. But
Yeah.
I would say, man, like if we're talking about not as a person, more as like an artist, like as a musician, I would
Mm-hmm.
say I think about like my ego a lot, and I think that's something I still haven't learned fully. But
Mm,
as an artist, we have such like big egos.
mm,
I feel like, especially as rappers, like we're trying to be the greatest and top each other. And I think one thing like we have to do and learn is like no matter how much we fight to be like the Eminem, the GOAT, of the game, it's like
yeah.
you're never gonna win that battle. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there's always gonna be artists that are gonna make you jealous and make you feel like you're not as good as them. But I think that's a good thing. I think that's something I'm learning to this day, and I'm always gonna be learning is like there's always gonna be another artist out there that's better than you, and I think that shouldn't make you like defeated. That should make you push harder to be on that same level, and I think you shouldn't try to
Mm,
always compare yourself. Really, it's like you're fighting your own battles in this music game. So that's
yes.
a lesson I'm learning today. Uh, that's a hard one to answer though for like what I've learned because I feel like
Already sure you shared it already, my
yeah,
G.
yeah,
That's definitely something you right there. Like
something I'm
that's all
learning
I can ask.
that's in the process. But if you want to go like technical, like how to record on a mic or how to make beats and stuff, I think like what I've learned for sure is like I've just picked up a lot of advice and tips from a lot of my friends and from YouTube
Mm,
on like how to really put my music together and like cultivate an image and like master my craft from
yes.
from producing to my voice to like writing songs, and that's all stuff that I've learned and I'm still learning. So that's the biggest thing I would give to artists is like really take the time to master your craft, man. Like
Mm,
because you could be good, you could be talented, but if you just blow up overnight because you got that one TikTok song, you're gonna fall off the next day, because you're not ready.
yeah.
But if you really prepare yourself and you stay in the gym, you stay in the studio, and you really like thing on it, like you're gonna get better at want to get better at. So just focus on what you really want to do and what you're
Yes.
talented at, what you're passionate about, and just master that craft, man. 10,000 hours, straight up.
Yeah. Shouts out to RJD2 for talking about the 10,000 hours a long time ago, as well as, yes, it's the longevity. Do you want to
Yeah.
be what we would call, what is it called? A one hit artist,
Oh yeah, one hit wonder.
a one hit wonder, or do you want to be an artist that's creating the longevity? And for some folks, it's a clear answer, depending on again your intention when it comes to this music and the craft. If that's your intention, then that's your intention. If it isn't, then you're
Exactly.
doing the work. Um, yeah, brother,
Yeah.
shoot, I appreciate you sharing that. And to also go back to just a comment on your other point about the ego and
Mm.
the goat reference of trying to be the best. Another brother, which shouts out to Face Fair. That's another brother of mine. This dude is very dope when it comes to on the mic as well as just his art is very potent.
Yeah.
He said this, and it made me, rethink like that actually makes a lot of sense. Just like there are numbers of different species of animals, goats, they run in herds. So there's just not one goat. There's many goats that run along with each other.
Oh yeah,
So
bro. I feel that.
so you don't
Yeah.
necessarily
I
always have to end up being like, yo, I'm gonna be, the goat. It's like, bro, you can be a goat because there are herds of goats as well.
yeah. I definitely agree with that. Like all the people I look up to, I feel like they're all goats and people call them for a reason. Like Mac Miller, Drake, Kanye, Logic, Cole,
Yes.
Kendrick. Like all these rappers and artists have been called the GOAT for some other reason. So but they all respect each
Yes.
other at the end of the day. So I definitely see.
Yes. And for those who are like, okay, I mean, there's a lot of us in here who know we hip hop, we know what we talk about, but for those who don't know what GOAT means, it's an acronym for greatest of all time. So you
Yeah,
keep hearing people talking about somebody's the GOAT, is the greatest of all time. But again, we can have GOATs, the greatest of all times, like a whole group of people. You can have that. But again, that's just another mindset to keep it in if, you're trying to battle with that, that inner ego. But again, if real recognize real, or GOAT recognizes what you're doing, then I mean, honestly, that's already part of the key right there.
yeah, bro. That's facts.
Right. I got let's see, one, two. I got three more questions for you, and then after that, we'll end it
Let's
out.
do
I
it, bro.
appreciate your time again and for you coming through for this interview.
I
Um,
appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, man.
no problem. Next question is, I know you talked about it a bit earlier when you're trying to blend all of your different influences and create something there. So I'll give it a bit of a reverse if you're not too sure of it. But the question I got for you is to describe your music style in one word or sentence. And if you're not sure about like your music style, then what is an idea you have of the style you want to reach?
Mm, that's a good one. Well, before I try to do it, I think my style is always changing. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like every artist you have like your bread and butter of like what what kind of defines you, what people know you for. But then you also have like all the
Yes.
different sides of your range of what you want to do musically, like the different genres you try to create. So for me, I'm always trying to make something different and like not just rap. But I would say
Yes.
if you're on the outside looking in, just looking at my page or whatever, it's just boom bap, lo-fi, lyricism.
I think we lost them. Yeah, I think we did. Hopefully we get them come back. 'Cause we was just about almost there, y'all. But you got the lo-fi, boom bap, lyrical on top when it comes to his particular art. So we're gonna, I guess, right now, as we're letting the brother come pick it back up, maybe it might have been, um, yeah, it was the phone for sure. We're gonna get some time to wait for him to come in, and as that's going on, I'm gonna play some of his stuff in the background as we're finishing up this interview. Let me pop back on so we can have this in the back again. Let me see if it'll let me. See, it says stop sharing. Now let's try one more time. There we go. Yeah, Instagram got some interesting setups when it comes to finding stuff on here to either share or not share. So we'll see what is going on and have folks come right back through. But appreciate y'all for coming through and being a part of this interview today. Again, we're interviewing James Drainer, an MC out of Orange County. So we'll give it, hopefully, a few more minutes so we can continue the interview. And if not, we'll drop it. And this will be it for this more interview. But let's figure it out, y'all. And if y'all have questions, please, again, throw them in the comments. Because I feel like I was meant to. But there's so much more that I wanna do without the ever being love. With this music, I use it like a drug, and I got a high tolerance when it's
sometimes. I'm never giving up. I'm looking up like an optimist, and I'm better getting in my prime. It's my time, my age, and the age of change is about to be 18. But in my brain, I feel like I'm 88. Cause all this pain, but I know it's gonna fade away. As long as I just meditate and find a better way. Lately I've been looking for a direction to go, and I can't find nothing. I think it's time to take it slow. I tell myself I know what I've been, know where I'm going, but I still look around and don't know what I am going. Lately I've been looking for a direction to go, and I can't find nothing. I think it's time to take it slow. I tell myself I know what I've been, know where I'm going. Mama told me take a step back and smell the roses. She right. I'm not gonna get this.
Again, I'm listening to James Drainer. Music is on YouTube. Not too sure if there is a link for his SoundCloud or anything else, but you can find James Drainer. You can type that in on YouTube and you will find this brother here.
I can't wait to look back on my life and say I made it. Yeah, I made it. Yeah. I can't wait to look back on my life and say that I made it. Yeah, I made it. I made it out the ghetto, made it out the pain, made it out the struggle. Yeah, I made it. I made it out the ghetto, made it out the pain, made it out the struggle. Now it ain't the same. Say hello to me. And every day I wake up trying to do better, instead of only being that man trying to make her wetter. Hey, I'm looking for love, that's 4 letters, I'm more clever. You know I'm better than anyone stacking cheddar up to the ceiling. I'm making a living and a killing, and I'm willing to be a little bit different with the way that I'm spitting. So come sit and listen, gather round, it's the mission to get along with the song. I'll inspire the world. When you're feeling wrong, just let your feelings unfurl, cause you never know which direction it's gonna go. And so I'm just spitting this flow to keep me on a steady stroll. I've been down this road a million times before, got the delivery and rhymes, and it's time to flow. Plus the beat, so much heat, man, I hope they know my name. I just want to shake hands and say hello to fame, as if it was a person. And when I'm hurting in the brain, I just go berserk over every instrumental, cause I feel like I was meant to. It's like I was sent to tell stories of what I've been through. It's pretty simple, but also complex. I can't wait to look back at what I accomplished. I can't wait to look back at my life and say I made it. Yeah, I made it. Yeah. I can't wait to look back at my life and say that I made it. Yeah, I made it. Yeah. I made it out the ghetto, made it out the pain, made it out the struggle. Yeah, I made it. I made it out the
Right,
ghetto,
y'all.
made it out the pain, made it
We're
out
back
the
up in
struggle.
here.
Now it ain't the same.
There's a little that was a little break in between and some music. So hopefully y'all had some fun with that.
I see you, bro.
Oh yeah, bro, we gotta support. So I mean, I
Hey,
had
my
to play in
bad,
the
my bad.
background.
My bad for the phone dying, bro.
I had a feeling it did. Hey, I had a feeling it did.
Yeah.
So I already know that's another thing I'm gonna take in the note for the future. But again, we learning. Well, I will
Exacto.
say what I will say, like I preferenced earlier, when it came to when I first heard you, I definitely dug your voice, and I dug the fast flows that you would do, how you would keep them in pocket in time. A lot of the times that you would rap fast, I actually can hear what's being said, versus when you
Yeah.
hear some dudes who be rapping fast, it's like the hibbity bibbity. Like, again, that's what it sounds like to
Yeah.
me. I call it hibbity bibbity. It's like I really cannot hear when you pronunciate your words. So I definitely do get to hear that when you are rhyming fast. But those are the
Well,
things I
thank
do
you,
like
bro.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that just comes from like the rappers that I study personally are the ones who have talked about that and focused on like pronunciation is really what that is, like making sure that while
Yeah.
you're going fast, because you're doing like the fastest flows of all time, like you could do, you
Yes.
got to make sure you're pronouncing it too, because that's a part of the challenge. That's the skill.
Yes.
Like when rappers, like when we do that, we're just trying to challenge ourselves to do something that's really like impressive, and we know people are gonna be like, oh damn, that's crazy. Like
Yes.
that's like a moment in the song, like Rap God Eminem or something like that. But that's a part of the challenge, is like making sure you're staying on like let me get up in it when I hit it with it, when I get up in it, when I get up in the vibe, like that. You got to make sure you know every word they're saying. So
Exactly.
yes, sir.
Y'all saw that. A little taste. Mm. All right. Now for the last two questions, and then we will have a performance, and I give you some time to definitely go get your laptop if you haven't already done so already. Um, the next question I got from you, perfect. Next question I
I got
got
the
for
fake.
you, Big Drake in there. I see. Um, what are your thoughts on consistency and substance pertaining to your life
Mm,
and to your passions?
that's a good one. Well, first with consistency, my thoughts on that is just I think that's the most important thing an artist can do to become successful. You know what I mean? Especially in the day we live in today with the internet. You know, before, like, when a lot of our favorite artists came up, they came up in a different time where
Yeah,
they didn't have to be consistent. They just had to put out something that was a really big deal, and the label, like, they got signed to a label and they put it out, and they were able to keep the momentum moving and push that the whole time.
yeah,
But I think as time went on, you know, the music game changed and the whole world changed with the internet. So now we don't even need the record label. We just need ourselves. We
yeah,
became our own label as independent artists.
yeah,
So like with what you're doing, I see like you're super consistent with, like, you always post the same type of content and it got the same cover arts. And I think consistency is such a deep thing where it's deeper than just like, I gotta drop a song every week. You also gotta drop stuff that's cohesive and looks similar and, like,
yeah,
creates an image and a brand for yourself. So
yeah,
that's the most important thing, is like, when you're an independent artist, your whole mission is, I want to blow up and I want to be famous and build a fan base, but do
yes,
it without the help of a label. And that's really hard, but it's actually a lot less hard than it was back in the day, because we have internet and we can learn these tips and, like, learn the knowledge of how to stay consistent and build
yeah,
a brand and image for ourselves and become our own, like, boss of our whole operation. So
yes,
consistency is the key, though, because, you know, if I were to drop a song every, like, 5 months and the song is not even that good, like, I'm not gonna get anywhere. You know, that's kind of where
yeah,
I was when I first started. I dropped like 3 EPs, and that was just me kind of like doing my jump shots in the gym, like experimenting, just trying to see
yeah,
what's gonna hit. What am I about? Like, what do people like? Just trying to experiment, you know, figuring it out. And then I came across an artist like Russ, who, like, he kind of cultivated a whole movement behind, like, you know, forget the label and I'm gonna do it myself and, like, drop a song every week until I blow up. And that's what he did to become where he's at now. So
yeah,
now there's so many artists that are following that same path. Is like, drop a song every week, you know, drop new content every week, so that, you know, when that one song blows up, you're gonna have like 50,000 other songs because you've been doing it forever every week.
yeah,
So then you know, people can go back and study you and become a fan of you, of who you really
yes,
are, not just that one, like, TikTok viral song, and then you're gonna fall off overnight, you know. So
yep,
consistency is the biggest thing, because that's what keeps the momentum, and that's what builds, you know, the image of who you are, and people see, like, you're, like, really putting in work every week, every month, whatever, you know. So that's the
yes.
biggest thing. And then I would say with the what was the second topic you said?
Substance.
Substance. That's another thing, bro. If we're talking about, like, bringing it back to, like, responsibility, what you see a lot now, and especially in hip hop, is a lot of, like, the Lil Pumps and the Lil rapper, like the little rappers, you know,
Yeah,
big movement. And not to hate on them, because I actually, like, love all music, and I think a lot of those mumble rappers per se are actually very talented and they could really do their thing. But a lot of them just kind of talk a bunch of BS. You know, they're just talking about money,
yeah,
women, weed, drugs, and they're not responsible with their voice. You know, they don't care what
yes,
they're saying. They don't really care to study the craft the same way that someone like me, or, like, artists I look up to, are doing. Is we put our whole heart and soul into it, and we're responsible, and that's the whole point of what we're trying to do with the brand, with the image, is become, like, a very respected artist. And people, like, in this day and age, it's so easy to get away with doing the opposite, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
you don't have to be consistent. You don't have to do any of these things. You can play the game how you want it. And that's the reason why it's so open on the internet and oversaturated with people that are able to be, like, SoundCloud rappers, who, you don't have to be that talented but you just have to make fun music that people, you know, laugh
Mm-hmm.
at or think is cool or, you know, catchy, and that makes you blow up. But the thing is, yeah, you're gonna blow up, but you're not being responsible with your voice. You're not caring about your craft. You're not
Mm-hmm.
really working. So then once you actually blow up, what are you gonna do with it now? You know, you're just gonna drop off the same speed that you blew up is the same speed you're gonna fall off because you're not consistent. You didn't build the foundation to become the artist you really want to be. So, you
Yes.
know, that's the big thing on responsibility and just like that whole topic. So yeah.
No, I thank you for your response. I do appreciate that. And the last point I'll say on top of that, it's
Yeah.
like a equivalent of, fast food to a home cooked meal or a gourmet, dish. Is, the way
Yeah, that's
that you
facts.
prep it, the way that you prep it, the way that you give it the time, even if it's done in no in a quality way, you can tell the difference versus, what's being just pushed out to you almost every other day, just because
Yeah.
it's easier, it's accessible, and it's of the time, and it doesn't
Right.
need any second, third, or fourth thought. It's like it's just meant for the purpose of that time. It doesn't matter what's going to happen in the future. Is if you like it, oh, that means you like it. I know you're going to buy it. Okay, since you like eating that so much, all right, I'm just going to keep making more and more of these same songs, and I'm
Yeah.
not going to develop anything and make my own recipe of a really nice dish for you to really enjoy. Again, food for thought. I'm not going to really give you no food that will really give you any thought or think, but I'm just going to give you some stuff
Hey,
that will make you dance, make you move, make
that's
you do all of
facts.
that. But yeah,
Yeah, bro. That was a hard
with
reference right there
that,
too, with the food for thought.
hey, hey, man, there's a
You got
reason
the
why. If
bars,
you
bro.
look it, hey, look, I'll give people keys too. I give y'all keys. Some people already know this. There's a reason why we have so many different adages or why sayings in English. And if you go back and you decipher them, you'll figure out, okay, why they make so much sense. So why would we always call something food for thought? I mean, don't forget that you don't only ingest just through your mouth. It goes through your ears, your eyes, all of your senses. So you want
Yeah.
something to definitely feed your mind as well too. So you got to
Yeah,
think all
bro.
about that. So that's the key I have. Go back to some of these wise sayings that's just thrown out every day, and then go figure out, okay, why is it being said so much, and then make a reference to it, and then it'll make sense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mm. And last but not least, brother, I ask this to everyone that comes on to more interviews, just so I can get, of
Okay.
course, their perspective on it. And I will say again, now this one is shots out to Busy Balboa for a reference, because she had something that was a bit different, but it made me create my own around it. So shouts out to Busy Balboa. Um,
Yeah.
last question I got for you: quality or quantity?
Damn. I say for sure quality. Um,
Mm.
that's something that actually like I kind of felt bad about a while ago. I know this one artist. He does his own events. His name is Ash. He's me and my girlfriend's good friend, and
Oh, okay.
he's really talented. And one thing like we talked about one time was quality and quantity. And he was like, "Nah, bro, it's all about quality over quantity. You know, you gotta put time into it." And I was more on the side of like, "Nah, you gotta put out stuff all the time and like you got to have a lot of songs."
Yes.
I think because that's what brought the conversation up was like I have so many unreleased songs and I have a lot of songs, and that's
Yes.
something I struggle with. Is I don't put a lot of quality all the time into like one song. I just try to make a whole bunch of songs just to kind of like
Mm.
just to do it because it's fun. And I think that's where you get a lot of like stuff that you're not going to put out. So I think quality is more important because you know when you put your whole like soul and heart into one project,
Yes.
that thing is going to come out as best as you can make it and you're going to be proud of that thing.
Yes.
But if you were to not put that time into it and just make like 5 songs instead of putting it into one song, and you make 5 different songs where it's like, yeah, like there's potential there, but you didn't actually go super hard as you could have on each song. You just wanted to finish the song as quick as possible because you're over it at this point. You're
Yes.
not going to be proud of that. You're not going to look back. People aren't going to stick to it. It's not going to blow up. It's not going to get anywhere. But I think the real key is like it's about a balance of both, I think, because we're talking about
Mm,
consistency. I
yes.
think you have to learn, you as an artist, you kind of have to grow as a human as well to become a more consistent person and really work as hard as
Mm,
possible so that you're matching your quality with your quantity. You know, like
yes.
for me, what I've been doing is trying to put out a song every week and a video every week, and it's been a struggle for me. I've missed a few weeks like this past month,
Yeah.
but you know, I still got time to get back on the horse. You know what I mean? But the real struggle is like, how much quality am I going to put into each one, and am I able to do it consistently with that quantity? You know, like a song every single week for like the rest of the year, for the next few years. That's a lot of quantity, but you also got to make sure the quality is in
Woo.
each one. You know, so it's a balance of both, for real.
Yes. Exactly. And
Yeah,
thank you
man.
for fleshing that out. I agree with a lot of what you said. And the
Yeah,
main thing I like to ask that that closing question is because it shows your intention when it comes to either the quality or quantity. They play hand in hand with each other depending on the situation and time, and not saying one is completely greater than the other. They actually go hand in hand together. But again,
yeah,
it's getting at your intention behind it. So either way of how you explain it and your intention behind it, you're going to excel as long as that's the case. If it's just because, oh, I want to get this or I want to get that, and it's not fully thought out, then that's where you want to start doing some more questioning. But
yeah. That's facts.
with that, y'all, this has been an interview portion of more interviews with the brother James Drainer. I like to thank you so much for coming through and giving up your
Yeah, man.
time, and definitely sharing with us, honestly as well authentically, your answers and your life musically with us.
Yeah.
With that, by request from iRent. So shouts out to iRent again. If y'all don't, I'm gonna post the stuff for iRent in here. I'm actually gonna start making this an option for folks if they want to towards the end of interviews. So appreciate it, iRent. Now we're gonna have the brother James Drainer go ahead and set up and perform. One song is fine. You don't have to necessarily do a whole great more, but just one song with us before we close out the interview entirely. So let you have
All
some
right,
more
man. Let's
time
do
and
it.
let me know when you are ready,
Um.
my G. All right, without further ado, y'all,
So
James Drainer.
yeah, let's get it. All right, man. So I was thinking I could either do the Momentum remix song because that's what it's dropping today, and you know that's what we're talking
Mm,
about. Or if you want, you could
yes.
hear something that's like different and that's not really coming out soon. You know, so it's you. I would say you pick that because you're
Mm,
not me. So
got you. As much as I definitely would love to hear some unreleased, I think just so the folks will know specifically what we were talking about today, why don't you go ahead and hit them with the momentum?
all right, man. Hopefully, I don't mess the lyrics up because there's a lot of them in this one. All
Got
right.
this.
All right. Let me put the laptop behind the phone so y'all can hear the beat. Let's get it. Let's get it. Yeah, yeah. Uh, check it. This is nothing but a hip-hop student. The root is truest is brewing newer music. Might not see what I'm doing now, but you're gonna see the movement. In this music, I lose myself. Man, I used to abuse my health, smoking too much of what was coming off of the shelf. I keep it independent. How can I get shelf? What the hell is the industry becoming these days? Rappers running back and forth just to get more replays. This hip-hop shit is a sport. Play the game. EA, rappers popping when they score. Fall off in 3 days, not thinking long-term. But I've been waiting for y'all to see James. Man, I conquered any bullshit anybody say. Don't need to concur. I just need to let the beat play like Ninth Wonder until I am under in the grave. One day will I fade away. What you really trying to say and leave behind with every word I rehearse, every verse until I leave verse. I know that I'ma be heard. I know it might sound absurd coming from someone unheard and unknown. I get in my zone, delivering it through the microphone and giving it all that I got when I'm writing this right from my dome. In my home where the setup is, living my studio, trying to get the relevance. You don't reach, you never know. I just teach with every flow and write his speech like Malcolm X and old. Just so you know, I'm here to take the throne. I got some drinks to prove. Let me let them unfold. Take a step in my shoes. I'ma never sell my soul. My mission, running this shit like I'm trying to score a goal. For gold or platinum, no bronze shit, but like Bronson, now I'm taking action. Behold the captain, this sound like the golden age of rapping. Back when you actually needed talent and not just a gimmick to get around it. This here is passion, the way I found it. You know I spit it with a fraction of what I can manage. I'm trying to master my craft in a way that they can never imagine, damn it. I'm here to save the game, but always overwriting and lapping. Yeah, the tracks, not where the plaques. You see I'm trying to stack them as if I had them, but don't, like Russ before the album. But this is just how I feel. Now watch the outcome. Building momentum like a ball tumbling. I'ma go get them and I run again. I run again. I'm building momentum like a ball tumbling. I'ma go get them and I run again. I run again. I run again. I run again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shouts out to A.D.V.I.S.S. All over the Atlas.
Hey.
Yes, sir. There you go, man.
Woo, y'all gotta feel that. We gotta give. We dropping them bombs, y'all. Drop them bombs, man. Yeah, man, shoot.
Yes, sir.
Bruh. Much thanks, man. I appreciate that so much, brother. Again, if
Yeah,
y'all
bro.
don't see it now, like this is over, of course, Wi-Fi and not, having so much of the music in the background. If y'all hear this and see this brother perform live, oh, it's a whole nother different story. But again, brother, that was amazing. That was dope. Appreciate you doing that. And you are officially the first one to ever come on and perform for folks. So got to give you the air horns for that right there. But once again, y'all, this has been another M.O.O.R.E interviews, which stands for Memoirs of Our Real Experiences. Shouts out to James for coming through and sharing of his time. Thank you for those who came in and gave questions. Shout outs to Iran. Everyone that came through that I saw that was in there. Appreciate of y'all time. This is going to be up, of course, later on Instagram, but also it's going to be transferred over to YouTube. So if you want to get the replays, you'll see it there. Subscribe to your brother at A.D.V.I.S.S Speaks, as well as I know James Drainer has a channel as well, too. I have all that linked and good and ready to go. But before I do that, brother, do you have anything else you want to plug?
Yeah. Man, I'll just say, come follow me on my social media at James Drainer. You guys could probably see it right there on the IG. But yeah, man, I'm just trying to drop music every week and stay consistent and network with, great people like you. And all I really got to say, man, is thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. And this was fun as hell, bro. So I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
I'm glad to hear that. And with that being said, y'all, this has been another M.O.O.R.E interviews, aka Memoirs of Our Real Experiences. We'll catch y'all next time. But when that happens, y'all continue to write your memoirs and to have your experiences so that you can continue to grow, to be a better individual, music artist, or whatever your passion is. Quality versus quantity, all of that put together. But with that, y'all, we're out. Thank y'all again. Peace and love. Until next time.
Thank you, man.
Mm-hmm.